Okay, I am back with Wood Stove Chronicles, and I wanted to show you where I keep the wood that's down here by the house, and then actually where I do the processing, which is up. I'll just show you that here in just a second, but I'm going to take you on a little tour here of what things look like. And let's see, I don't know if I can actually turn this around right now, so I'll have to turn this off, flip it, and then just a second. Okay, there we go. So there's the wood stove, and if we go right out these doors right here, this is our walkout, which is in the front of our house, actually. It's kind of a unique build. The way our house was built, or the way our land is, we had to put the front walkout rather than a back walkout basement, and it turned out pretty unique. This is where we're keeping our wood after I process it, right there, okay? So there's a little bit left from what I did just a few days ago. This I'm gonna carry with me because this is to carry wood. Normally, I would have my golf cart. It's got a utility box on it, and it's really good for stuff like this, but I'm not getting fuel right now. After the engine's firing, I'm not getting fuel to be able to, it's just not running right now, so I got to figure that out. All right, the other day, I think it was, actually it was yesterday, I was able to come out and use my chainsaw and cut up some of this bigger stuff. I'll show you what saw I'm using for this. I'm just a regular homeowner, so I don't need a still wood or a chainsaw. I might eventually get one, but I went ahead and cut a lot of this stuff down, and a lot of this I'll just be able to throw right in the wood stove, but then some of the other stuff, the bigger stuff here, I'm gonna have to split. And I wanted to show you the tools that I'm using here. My chainsaw is a 20-inch. I used to have just a little 14-inch Craftsman that I had for like, 20 years probably. My dad gave it to me, and I used that for years. And it started messing up on me, and I wanted to get a bigger one anyway, so I went ahead and got this Pillion Pro. I looked up like the cheapest budget chainsaw I could find, and at Rural King I found this. I think it was like $170, which ended up being a great deal. This saw has been really good for me. This is the first year using it, so you'll see me cut a couple trees. We'll fell some trees that I've got in the woods that are dead, that are way over there. And everybody that's watching this that knows me knows our property really well, so they know where I'm at right now. But this is kind of like our outdoor, there's our Christmas tree. This is our outside hangout area, and this is where I'm processing all of my firewood. There's my two stacks that I'll explain here in just a second. But what I'm splitting with is just a good old faithful wood splitter that I got from Menards. And then Joey Hawkins from Bless My Buckskins is my good buddy that got me this old vintage Keen cutter and put a nice hickory big handle on it, and that's really good, and that's sharp. That's really for cutting trees down, not so much splitting wood. That's why I got the wood splitting axe. And those are the tools of the trade here, and that's what I'm doing. And this is going to take me just a little bit to transfer from here down there. Now let me show you my piles. This is the pile for this year. This is the season stuff. This is mainly ash from a tree that fell down from a neighbor's, and I've got some here, and then I've got some behind it. This is like a year old at least, and so it's good to go. There's some pretty big pieces there that I've got to cut up, but that's my pile for this year. And see, I've got a big piece of, I think this is actually oak right here. Yeah, that's oak, I believe. Yeah, and I'm gonna have to cut that up for next year because all of my oak, this is for this year. This is all some season stuff as well under the leaves. But this is all a big oak tree that came down at my neighbor's house. And this is for next year. So I've got a ton of oak that's just waiting to be burned for next year. And I got a little bit of sycamore in there, you can see right there. And if you try to split sycamore with an axe, good luck. You can when it's seasoned really well, but when it's not seasoned, you are not getting through sycamore. So that pile will be good for next year, and I'll keep adding to that. And then this, you can barely see, but this is where I had the wood piled already, and I've already burned so much. So I'm spending about, like I said, an hour to get 3 or 4 days of wood, and then that will last me, well, 3 or 4 days. But then this will last me, I think, hopefully through a month or two. And then I've got at least, if that can make me get me a month or 2 months, that would be great, because I really only need 2 months of burning, maybe 3. And then I've got a couple trees out there that I'll make a video about when I cut those down. I've got an ash tree out there and a sycamore tree out there that I've got to cut. So anyways, now time to split. Okay, mission accomplished. Chop that all up. And now I've got to transfer this back down around to the front. That's probably 50 yards maybe, I don't know, not that bad. So several trips, we'll get it done, and then we'll have the stack replenished. I'll show it to you after it's done, but that's the process, and these are the tools that get it done. Okay, and just like that, there's our pile. All this takes is a 30-minute break, and then, you know, yesterday I cut this up with the chainsaw in 30 minutes, and then it took me 30 minutes to chop it and bring it down here, maybe 35, and then I'm ready for, you know, we got several pretty cold days in a row. We got a low of 6 degrees coming here in the next, I think tomorrow night. So we'll see how this does. But so far, when we got down to 16 degrees, like I said a couple videos ago, we did just fine. So I think we'll be good to go with this. So there are several reasons that I've loved this wood stove so far. One of the primary reasons, I think I've been enjoying it. It is kind of a novelty a little bit, but if you've been following the Shepherd's Crook for a while, you know, when I talk about manhood, I talk about men being built for 6 things: worship, work, protect, provide, lead, love. That's what God's called us to. It's a good biblical survey of action words that fit, not just fit, but define the calling of a man. And with this, it's neat because in pastoral ministry, what I see develop is words on a page, is study to a document to a sermon. I see that. But I also want to see physical labor develop into something as well. And what's so neat is to see the work of my hands provide heat for my family. And that is a really good thing. And I think it would do a lot of pastors good to do something like this. Hopefully already you're taking care of your body, you're working out, you're exercising, you're doing something. But to be able to see physical work come to fruition and see progress. You know, we see progress week in and week out as we pray through liturgy, as we go through the motions of meeting with people, counseling people, discipling people. But when you get done discipling somebody or meeting with somebody or praying with somebody or texting or email or calling or on to the next meeting or to the hospital or do a funeral or something like that, certainly there's care, there's work, real work that's been done. And it's hard work. It's good work. It's shepherding. That's what God's called us to. But there's something really special also about just doing the work of a man as a provider in your household, because you're building a household as well. In fact, if your household, you guys know this, 1 Timothy 3, Titus 2, or Titus chapter 1, if your household isn't in order, then you're not qualified, and neither am I. And so the wood stove falls in line with this work and provide piece, worship, work, protect, provide, lead, love. And this isn't just work for remuneration, but this is about building a culture of work in my home. And that's one of the things I want the boys to catch and what I want Providence to catch, that this is not simply a place of refuge. The home is not just simply a place of retreat. The home is a place of productivity, of love, of working together, of building something, of being productive. And that's, I think, some of the reasons I've loved the wood stove so much. More to come. Thanks.